Hey there, this is Dorothy. Today we're focusing on hip mobility and stability. The goal is to first concentrate on releasing and hydrating the soft tissue around the joint in order to optimize the stability, the congruency, the appropriate firmness of the joint and be able to move without limitation and more freely. We are using a foam roller on the first portion of this video and a small medicine ball on the second part of the video. All right, let's grab our roller. On the first one, we are going to rest our leg on top of the roller like so. Bring our hands behind our hips, keeping our elbow joints nice and soft. We're pushing into the ground to lift the hips slightly off the ground and rolling back and forth. I'm sliding the roller towards my foot, finding that sticky area, and once I get there, actually the more I move towards my foot, halfway there, right there, the more I feel it. So I'm going to rest on my hips and rock from side to side. When I go towards my pinky toe, I feel more discomfort and restriction. So I'm going to just rest for 1.5 minutes or 2 until I feel the release. Keep breathing, enjoy, try to apply gentle pressure so that the tissues are able to withstand the pain or the discomfort without overreacting. Try the same on the other side. You may pause this video for another 1.5 minutes in order to find that area that needs some release. All right, second exercise, we're going to work on our quads. So I'm going to place a roller right underneath my quad, resting on my elbows and opposite knee, and I'm rolling towards my knee, back and forth. Once I find that area that feels tight, I'm going to bend the knee a few times. All right. And just breathe as you push with both arms, keeping your spine long from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Just hold where you feel that the pressure, it's appropriate and comfortable. You may bring your leg out to the side and back. When I reach my foot out, I feel more tension on the outer thigh. So I'm going to hold it there for 1.5 minutes. All right, and breathe. And make sure you're breathing to help the tissues get more blood flow, and rest. Try on the second side, and again, pause this video for 1.5 minutes to work on each side at a time. Right. The next exercise, we're going to place a roller right at the top side of the hip. So I'm going to, facing you, put the roller right underneath, turn my body slightly over to the roller, and just move from that bony crest at the top of my side towards the hip. Right there. And when I go down, I feel more tension. So that's where I'm going to hold it for 1.5 minutes. I'm going to make sure I'm comfortable in this position to be able to relax. Try on one side and then switch and try on the second side. All right, the last exercise I'm going to show you is hamstring stretch and hip mobility exercise. So let's go ahead and stand up. Stepping back with our feet hip width apart. And we're going to reach across the body, extending the leg and reaching towards the ankle. I'm twisting from my guts to turn over to one side. And slowly come back and reach to the second side You may reach towards your leg or your ankle. Again, lengthening from the spine, twisting from the navel out. And back. Alternate from side to side. No bouncing, but you do want to feel a nice flow. You may reach the roller away from your hips for support and enjoying this movement and feeling the stretch. Go gently, breathe deeply as you extend the knee. All right, and slowly roll. All right, we are now going to work on our hip stability. So we're going to place the ball right behind the knee, like so. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips, making a nice frame from the hips up to the shoulders, keeping the neck nice and long. And as we breathe, expanding the sides and back of the rib cage and keeping the spine long, we're extending the hip by lifting the ball up in the air. Now from here, we're making circles around, small circles, and small circles are fine. Start slowly to lubricate, to hydrate the soft tissues around that hip joint. Good. And once you complete 10 reps, reverse. Keep pressing onto the mat with both hands at the same time. Lengthening and pulling your spine from both ends. And switch. All right. You may pause the video to work on 10 reps on each direction and work on both sides. All right, on the next exercise, we're placing the ball right below the navel towards the pubic bone, in between both legs. So here, we're going to bring the elbows down on the floor. Make sure we are lengthening again the spine by keeping the shoulders wide, and get ready to engage the hip muscles to extend at the knee, lifting or hovering the knee off the ground by half an inch and back. And again, engaging the muscle, awakening the glute tissues to extend the hip, concentrating on that area from the side and back of your pelvic bone. Right here. All the gluteal muscles are going to fire up to extend that leg, reaching the knee off the ground slightly. You may even turn your knee to the side, keep your knee relaxed, and just concentrate on your breathing as you extend your hip. Pause the video, work on 10 reps on each side, and come back to the last 2 exercises. All right, we're close to the end. Second last exercise. We're placing the ball underneath our ribs, making sure that we're not collapsing on the ball, but keeping our spine straight and using the ball to create more awareness of your shoulder and hip placement. And from here, we're going to spread the knees apart and squeeze the heels together, preventing the hips from rocking or tilting towards the back of the mat. Engaging the outer portion of that hip area. Make sure you're breathing to help your brain connect to the hip tissues, to help you keep the stability of your pelvis and your spine as you open the knees and come back. Try again this exercise 10 times on each side. Take 10 seconds on each rep and enjoy the burn. All right, last exercise. We are keeping the same ball placement, extending the leg to the back corner of the mat and lifting. Now the goal is to keep the hips square, keep the shoulders wide, resist the temptation of resting on the ball, going up and down. Make sure you're breathing, going up and down on the in breath, up and down on the out breath. Take your time, 10 seconds on each rep. 5 on the way up, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5 on the way down. Pause and work on the other side. And come back when you're ready. All right, I failed that very last one. So these exercises are going to help us awaken the muscles of our hips, the deep muscles of our hips, in order for us to avoid substitutions or compensations with bigger, more superficial muscles of our bodies. Remember, if your body feels stiff, tight, and uncomfortable, it's mostly because you're trying to use larger muscles to keep the machine moving. So you want to turn off the bigger muscles during these exercises and be able to awaken, access, and fire up the tiny muscles that are supposed to do a prolonged, sustained, and efficient joint support throughout the entire day.